On the night of July 27, 1987, in the quiet town of Warwick, Rhode Island, a 13-year-old boy left his house at 1 a.m. He walked 2 doors down. He had a knife. Rebecca Spencer was asleep on her couch. She was 27 years old. She had done nothing wrong. She had never wronged anyone. She didn't wake up until the blade was already in her. The police arrived at a scene that didn't make sense. There was no forced entry. The door was unlocked, no robbery. Her purse was on the counter, cash inside. No connection. Rebecca didn't know the boy who killed her. Not really. He was just a kid from the neighborhood. They took fingerprints. They interviewed neighbors. They came up with nothing. And the boy went home. And he waited. 2 years passed. Craig Price later said he didn't hear voices, he didn't have blackouts, he didn't feel compelled by some invisible force, he just wanted to know what it was like. That's the detail that should disturb you most, not the violence, the curiosity. In the early morning hours of September 1st, 1989, Craig Price was 15 years old. He walked out of his house again. This time he went 4 doors down to the home of the Heaton family. Joan Heaton was 39. Her daughters, Jennifer and Melissa, were 10 and 8. Craig entered through the basement. The family was asleep. He killed Joan first, then Jennifer, then Melissa. The medical examiner would later describe the scene with clinical precision, the number of wounds, the type of blade, the angles of entry. But what the report couldn't capture was the time. Craig spent over an hour inside that house. He didn't rush. He walked through the rooms. He opened drawers. He went home, washed, and went to sleep. The next morning, he rode his bike past the house to look at the police cars. Here is where the clock starts. Warwick, Rhode Island had a population of roughly 85,000 in 1989. It was the kind of town where people left their doors unlocked, where kids rode bikes until dark, where a double homicide, let alone the murder of 2 children, was something that happened somewhere else. But now it had happened here, twice. And nobody knew they were connected. The investigation focused on the obvious suspects first: estranged husbands, known offenders, anyone with a grudge against the Heaton family. The police processed the scene for 3 days. They found fingerprints. They found a bloody sneaker print that was a size 13, but they didn't have a suspect, and Craig Price was still walking free, still living 4 doors away from the crime scene, still riding his bike past it. The clock wasn't running for the police, it was running for every family on that street. Craig Price was caught because of a mistake that had nothing to do with the murders themselves. He had told a friend, a girl his age, he had told her details that hadn't been released to the public, the number of wounds, the layout of the house, things a 15-year-old should not know. That girl told her mother. Her mother called the police. When they brought Craig in for questioning, he was calm and even cooperative. He answered questions. He didn't ask for a lawyer. He didn't ask for his parents. And then he confessed. Not the way you're imagining, not with tears, not with remorse. Craig Price described the murders the way someone describes mowing a lawn, methodically, without emotion, answering why with a shrug. It just happened. He was 15 years old. Here's what they don't usually put in the crime documentaries. Craig Price was tried as a juvenile. Under Rhode Island law in 1989, juvenile records were sealed at age 21. If the system had worked as designed, his name would have been erased, his fingerprints destroyed, his file closed. He would have walked free at 21 with a clean slate. The community fought this, the families fought this, and the state found a way to keep him, not through the murder charges, but through parole violations, through threats he made from inside, through the simple, documented fact that Craig Price told psychiatrists he would kill again if released. He told them he enjoyed it. As of today, Craig Price is still incarcerated. He's in his early 50s. He has been denied parole repeatedly. Each denial cites the same finding, restated by a different panel of professionals across 3 decades. He has shown no genuine remorse. He has not reformed. He remains, in the clinical language of the reports, a danger to society. You might ask what makes a 13-year-old pick up a knife and walk into his neighbor's house. Why do they? Psychiatrists have examined Craig Price for over 30 years. They've offered theories about antisocial personality traits, conduct disorder, or a lack of empathy that predates puberty, but none of them have answered the question in a way that satisfies, because the answer, if there is one, isn't satisfying. Craig Price wasn't abused, wasn't neglected, wasn't exposed to violence in his home. By every available measure, he grew up in a stable family in a safe neighborhood with parents who worked and cared and provided. And he still walked out of that house at 1 a.m. with a knife. That's the part that should stay with you, not the blood, not the details, the ordinariness of everything around it, the unlocked door, the 2 doors between his bedroom and Rebecca Spencer's couch, the bike ride past the crime scene the next morning. The monster wasn't in the woods. It wasn't in some faraway place. It was 4 doors down, eating cereal at the kitchen table, waiting for night. If you want more terrifying stories like this one, stories that tell it how it is without ghosts or supernatural elements, then please subscribe and stay close. Please follow us on social media where you'll get the latest updates and sneak peeks.